So, the Battle of Passchendaele. It started on the 31st of July 1917 and it ended on the 10th of November 1917. It was on the Western Front, east of Ypres and southwest Belgium. General Douglas Haig, who was the leader of the English troops, believed that the Germans were near to collapsing. He was trying to penetrate the German defences so he could get to the Belgian village of Passchendaele and destroy the German submarines on the Belgian coast.
The British suffered around 60,000 casualties on the first day. These were all ordered by General Douglas Haig. Haig ordered bombings on Passchendaele 3 days before the actual battle, and he thought this would give the British an element of surprise. Haig's general plan for the battle was not agreed with, but it was the only plan, so that's why they went with it. He also wrongly thought the morale of the German troops was low. He had led many other battles in World War I and was a trusted and respected figure. His actions in Passchendaele made him one of the most controversial figures of war. Over the whole battle, there were 325,000 Allied and 260,000 German casualties. Passchendaele was far from the perfect battle and pushed soldiers all the way to the limit, with trench foot and extreme tarring mud. Infantry soldiers found any movement difficult. We think soldiers did incredibly well, considering that their leader came up with wrong tactics, the Germans had fresh reinforcements, and the British generals were so desperate to get to the German submarines they didn't care what losses they had, so long as they succeeded. The mud stuck the dead soldiers in a mould, so that's why so many soldiers' bodies were found after the battle. Fighting at Passchendaele was a great bravery. 9 Canadians earned the Victoria Cross, which is the highest military award you can get if you're a Canadian. Private Tommy Holmes, Captain Christopher O'Kelly, Sergeant George Mullen, Major George Parks, Private James Peter Robertson, Captain Colin Barron, Private Cecil Kinross, Lieutenant Hugh Mackenzie, and Lieutenant Robert Shankland. 2 of these men, Mackenzie and Robertson, did not survive the battle to receive their medals. And the efforts of all these men were remarkable. It has been said that the Battle of Passchendaele could not have won if not for the heroic actions of Major Parks of the 5th Canadian Mounted Rifles. He'd been shot in the leg and he led a few dozen men through heavy enemy fire across open ground to capture a strategically located farm where they fought off numerous counterattacks for more than a day, and that prevented the Germans from attacking the main advancing Canadian force from the side.
So, weapons and technology. When Haig ordered the bombing, 3,000 artillery guns fired over 4 million shells. In the actual battle, tanks were used at the beginning, but the heavy mud made it difficult for them to move, so they were left behind. The shell craters left by the Allies' attack were filled with sticky mud, and many soldiers drowned in these death holes. At the start, British forces used Lee-Enfield rifles and axes while riding horses. The German forces defended their defences well, with the Mauser M1916 rifles and heavy mounted machine guns. Towards the end of the battle, horses were left behind and soldiers attacked slowly with their bare weapons.
The main objective of the battle was to make a breakthrough to the coast of Belgium so that the German submarine pens could be destroyed. At the time, Germany posed a major threat to Britain's naval strength because Germany's mass production of submarines and dreadnoughts during the naval race that was before the war in 1914. The artillery at the beginning of the battle was pointless because German units just went into hiding and waited for the barrage to stop, and then as soon as it stopped, they already knew that the British were going to attack, so they had time to prepare their own defences. When Douglas Haig put Herbert Plumer in charge, it proved to be a successful move because Plumer created his own tactic where small battles would be fought rather than take over Passchendaele in one big sweep. British were able to make small gains and by continually making these gains were able to win the Battle of Passchendaele at the cost of 325,000 men and 206,000 on the German side, all for just a few kilometres of land.
Yeah, it's not like it.
Oh, is it not?
No.
We did have it as where they moved in to display the battle.
This was where they ended up, so just in front of the town of Passchendaele, so they did actually succeed with them.
The Battle of Passchendaele made army generals think about the consequences before making a decisive call. example, firing artillery at the German lines, then large mud-filled holes left behind. And the German forces, realising what was going to happen, preparing themselves. The battlefield was not checked before the battle, and if they did, there were noticed large dirt patches, and they could have redirected the attack to suit the Allied forces. The battle was not significant to the overall result of war, due to the mislocation of the German U-boats and the minimal ground gained. I think this battle showed how bleak and pointless war is, an example to show to younger generations about why we should all avoid war.